Hey guys, this is the motorized bike that I built.
Shove it down in there.
And this is the worst bike ride ever. The day after installing the new chain tensioner on the orange peel, I decided to take it for a cruise around the neighborhood. Everything was working fine and good. The new tensioner that I put on it was making a big improvement, so I was feeling a little confident. So I decided that since it was such a nice day, I should take the orange peel to my local trails. I saw a few cars in the parking lot, so I figured the single trails would be a little crowded, so I decided to stay on the double track that goes in this clearing between the two forests. As I was riding along, the bike was performing great and everything was going fine until I came across this very large puddle. I've been to this trail a lot before and I know this puddle and about how deep it can get, and it's a lot deeper than I'm willing to go on this bike today. So I decided just to turn the bike around. There's a whole lot more trail going in the other direction, and I've got plenty of more places I can ride today.
Hey, gets pretty deep.
So I was just riding along, and I started noticing that there was a lot more mud than I expected here today. Then I started seeing a lot of mud. It wasn't so much that I thought I should turn around and go home, but it was a lot. I suppose that the bike was having to work so hard and wasn't really getting enough airflow because I couldn't reach a high speed, that it was overheating and it caused the engine to start running away. I actually had to pull the CDI out to get it to stop.
I need to deal with some of this mud. And that engine needs to cool off.
I decided I could start pedaling on the way back to give the engine time to cool off, and then I could start it and get it home.
Let's just keep pedaling for a little while.
But since I had been riding through so much mud, mud had gotten in between the brakes and the tires, and that combined with driving over this gravel made that mud kind of into a chunky peanut butter texture that got rocks inside the brakes, which basically made the wheels almost immobile and pedaling was not possible.
The mud here is always something else. Oh, this is like rock.
This mud was particularly awful
Gross.
because it was very sticky, and it was also very like pasty, almost like a Play-Doh. and it had a lot of small pebbles mixed in it, so it always got stuck to everything and got those pebbles stuck inside the sprocket and inside the front brakes. And in order to make the bike roll, I had to push it hard from behind just to get it to roll because of how bad both wheels were. I tried rolling the bike back and forth to maybe work some of the mud free so that I could at least be able to roll the bike back easier, but it didn't work.
I'm trying to roll it to see if I can get the chain to go around a couple times.
The mud was so sticky on the tires that it was actually picking up rocks from the gravel road I was riding on. And that's what kept locking the wheels up, and that's why the ride was so difficult, is because I couldn't go forward. I couldn't just clean it off and then ride it back. I had to keep cleaning all the mud out of it. I briefly got it to where I could pedal, but with the added weight of me on top of the wheels, it just made me pick up even more mud, and it just jammed the wheel up again. It wasn't even worth trying, really. It just made things worse.
Yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
It started getting to a point where the mud was so bad that I couldn't even roll the bike a few inches forward. At this point, I even considered just carrying the bike over the mud because of how bad it was. At this point, I just chose to drag it out of the current mud hole that I was in. I wasn't sure what my plan would be after that.
Pick a lot of the mud out.
I was using a twig to pick the mud out of the brakes, and I was trying to use it to pick the mud out of the sprocket. Then I had the idea to use a pair of pliers to take the cover off the sprocket so that I can actually get in there and get all the little rocks and mud out from inside of it.
Let's see what I got that I can fix this with. Oh my god. Look at this. Like a rock or something to look at that. And it's like thick, pasty mud too. The orange peel does not like mud.
cleaning out the sprocket area did help. It made it so that at least the sprocket wasn't stopping the bike, but the bike still just had so much mud and rocks in the brakes, it was not rideable. At this point, I realized I wasn't getting out of here without a fight.
This is gonna be a bitch to get out.
Every few feet was a fight. Sometimes the rear wheel would decide to roll, and every little while I had to keep picking mud out of the front wheel.
Well, God fucking damn it.
Because of how badly jammed the front wheel was, I had to push it kind of hard onto the ground to keep it rolling. Because anytime that it would skid, it would just stop the whole bike and I couldn't even move it an inch. And that's part of why this was so difficult, is because I was also having to push down on the handlebars as well as
Let's just get
forward.
to that manhole thing over there and take a break. Hey, look, the rear wheel's moving. That's good. Let me get this hoodie on.
I was extremely tired, but I knew I would get back to the trail ahead. I still wasn't sure if I'd be able to get home, though.
Agua. Let's see if I can get the bike the rest of the way out of here.
Oh yeah, and to add insult to injury, the camera there on my handlebars actually didn't have a memory card in it when I left the house.
Ah, fuck. Right? Hey, at least there's water up ahead.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, there is a hose at the trailhead that I can use to get rid of almost all of the mud. Definitely enough for me to ride the bike home. But I have to get to the trailhead to use it.
Yeah, it does suck.
At this point, my main focus and all my determination was put into just getting the bike to the trailhead where I can get the mud off of it.
I'm a pioneer. I'm an explorer. I'm a human. I'm animated. I'm alive. My heart's big. It's got hot blood. Going through it fast. I like to fight too. I like to eat. I'm here. This is what I am. I've got the fire of human liberty. And I'm coming.
Well, what do you know? By the time I get here, the hose is occupied. I guess it's all for the best. I'm going to be using it for a while anyway. At this point of the video, I was so tired I didn't even bother turning on the camera by the time I started using the hose and pedaled home. It was a pretty rough day, but hopefully it turned into a good video for you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a good one.